You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the February 22nd meeting of the LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission Board. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, if everybody's ready, we're going to call this evening's meeting of the RDC to order here. First, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Joe Haney.
Present.
Justin Keel.
Present.
Michael Rosenbaum. Scott Cooley.
Present.
Tom Fath.
Present.
Randy Novak.
Present.
Mark Parkman.
Present.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Next, if we could take care of the swearing in of our RDC members, please. I believe the indication was that last time either our attorney or our secretary could handle that. That was the indication we were given by the former attorney.
I always thought it was the clerk or somebody from the clerk's office.
Generally, that's what I thought too, but that was the last piece of information we were given by our parting compatriot.
Your parting patriot didn't get with me regarding that. Do we have the language for this one?
I can always.
Do you have the language?
I do not know. I had assumed that was something standard you guys had.
No.
All right, very good. I could. While we're going through this, let's
Table that till next month?
Yeah, do you think it would be appropriate? We could table it till next month.
Sure.
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'll get it from my compatriot.
Very good. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. So without objection, we're going to move on then to approval of the RDC agenda here for this evening.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve.
Second. All right. We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Very good. All right. Next, we have public comment. Any members of the public who would like to speak? Seeing none here in person, not seeing anyone for comment on Zoom, we will close public comment. Next, Madam Secretary, any communications?
Here you go. Communications for the month of January, February. Auditor request for treasurer's report. Herald Argus claims and allowances were published. D&M pay request number 10 was processed. USI engineering pay requests were number 10 for D&M was reviewed and signed. Picked up POs from the RDC for the president's signature, had them signed, returned them to the auditor's office. Prepared the February 23rd automated POs, picked up mail, sorted it. IT request, they gave us the information. We have a full year's now worth of Zoom passwords and IDs. Thank you very much. The email from Attorney Friedman regarding the KIP solar project. We sent emails to the Herald Argus, the County Bar Association, the Westville Indicator Regional News, and IT transmitted it to legal counsel about the news brief regarding the selection of the county RDC attorney. Responses received from the various attorneys were processed, communicated legal counsel interview times, received USI invoices for 2022 and prepared and processed those for payment. Paxton Media invoicing, and then received sender's TIF accounting email. And that is the end of your communications for the month.
Thank you very much. All right, very good. Next, we have, we're going to consider our minutes. If we could probably start off on the January 25th meeting minutes first.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Very good. We have a motion and a second to approve the January 25th meeting minutes as presented. Any discussion? All right, very good. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Next, there's also the special meeting minutes from February 9th. We'll need to approve here this evening as well.
Motion to approve.
Second the motion.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the February 9th special meeting minutes as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right, next we'll move on to Treasurer's Report, please.
The treasurer's report is as follows. US 421 TIF number 1, the balance after your claims today is $276,799. US 421 allocation area 2, your balance is $96,425. The KIDC balance is $76,263, and 39 North is $75,179. End of treasurer's report.
Thank you very much. Do we need a motion to accept that or? Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to accept the Treasurer's Report. Any discussion? Hearing none. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, next we'll move on to claims. The first batch here is for our KITIF and MCR partners in the amount of $3,000.
Motion to approve.
Second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next we move on to our DCTIF. Thompson Associates, $822.25. MCR Partners, $2,000. Thompson Associates, $822.25. Herald Dispatch, $24.91. And USI Consultants here, $32,814.14. Entertain a motion for that?
Not reading that one. Point of order.
Or was that USI, it batched, because there's no delineation here, was that batched under the 421 TIF?
Yeah, so the 421 starts at MCR Partners for 2,000 and goes all the way down to Friedman.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, this
Okay.
the first one is KIDC. It's in two
AIDC, oh,
lines.
that was the Kingsbury, yeah.
No problem.
All right, so we already approved the 3,000, and we just approved the, made a motion to approve the 822.25. As part of that, since we didn't delineate it in that first batch.
So moved.
Second.
All right, discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. All right, appreciate that defining line. I'm going to line these out a little clearer here before we get into the next batch. All right, very good. Next is the US 421 TIF here. So we have MCR Partners for 2,000, Thompson Associates for 822.25, Herald Dispatch for publication claims 24.91. And then batches here for USI. I won't read each one, but basically we have April, July, August, September, October, November, and December of 2022 here invoices for $32,814.14, $3,416.74, $17,881.54, $23,915.40, $20,468.65, $15,118.22, $7,950.82, and $1,500 at the bottom there for Friedman Associates for February legal services, for a subtotal for all of that for the US 421 TIF of $125,912.67.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second for that. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And last on the list here for this for our TIFs is 39 North for MCR Partners, February of 2023 professional services in the amount of $1,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. All right. Very good. Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next we have US 421 project claims for a total here of $479,691.85.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. All right, very good. Next, we have the I-94 US 35 infrastructure design services from HWC in the amount of $11,500 even.
Motion to approve, and we're paying that out of,
Yes, economic development lit. Thank you.
thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Old business, 421 I-84 TIF project updates. Mr. Rood.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. Quick point about 421 and 94 that I just want to make the board aware of. There was some proposed development that would occur adjacent to the city of Michigan City that was discussed last night at their meeting. I informed them that if their project would occur within the TIF district with debt, that any new growth in the district would be collected by the county and then remitted to pay off the debt. We're going to continue to work with Michigan City to make sure the project works. The zoning for the project is appropriate. It's a distribution warehouse along with some commercial office that would go in the front, wholly appropriate for the zoning. Just letting the commissioners know that we'll hopefully have a meeting with the Office of Economic Development from Michigan City so we can sort this out so that we can continue to promote some partnerships between the city and the Redevelopment Commission. But good project. I informed them that the commission is supportive of investment and development in the county, and that we just needed to sort out the financial ends of the project, and we will in the future. I'm going to turn it over to John to give everybody an update on the utility project, and of course the contractors here as well. John, you don't have your ankle monitor on anymore, so that's good.
John Smith, USI Consultants. DNM has gone underneath 421 through both casings with the water and sanitary. The sanitary is completely tied in. We will not be able to go west anymore until NIPSCO does a relocate. And tomorrow we'll find out if we can do the water main. He's gonna pothole to see where the utilities are exactly at. And last Wednesday we were supposed to have a meeting with NIPSCO because they said they're within 2 weeks of starting to relocate. Got moved to today. Well, they didn't want to get wet today, so they moved it to Friday now. So I will, hopefully they get it all relocated by the end of March, and it won't hold the NM up, completing that last 1,000 feet. So.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions?
Everything looks like it's coming along good.
Yeah, the sanitary taps, they've been doing those daily. So, and then once that's done, they'll start ripping up 900. 950.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Very good. All right. Well, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else for 421-94? All right.
No, sir.
Okay. Very good. Next we have KIP.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before you tonight, I want to have a discussion about the build, operate, transfer contract with JBC Rail. And a couple of the members called me, and we have some new members here, so there's a little bit of history here, so if you'll indulge me for a minute. About 4 years ago, the Redevelopment Commission received a grant from the IEDC to do rail improvements at Kingsbury. And as part of that project, we, after some discussion with our professional team, Carl Sender and Phil Facenda, it was determined the best way to proceed with this would build, operate, transfer, meaning you have a contractor, they're paid X dollars to execute the project pursuant to the specifications you draw up. And in addition to that, part of the build, operate, transfer had to do with the retention of JBC Rail as what we call the switcher. And I guess the best way I can describe that is they're the professional service firm that provides for the movement of rail cars within the park. They're also the professional service firm that provides for the maintenance of the big hour improvements. They're also the professional service firm whose insurance covers activity at the park. So we created a buffer between us, the county, the ownership from RDC, and the operator and the operations of the park. It was determined build, operate, transfer would be the best way to do that. At the time of that agreement, the project limits included a gap in the a gap in the rail of approximately on and off 4,000 feet. So written into the original build, operate, transfer talks about the improvement of rail track for 4,000 feet. It also includes a rail bridge. And as the commissioners may be aware, the Redevelopment Commission was awarded a ready grant for the construction of this rail bridge over Travis Ditch. And at the suggestion of the team again in discussions with JBC, they determined that it was in their best interest to make sure that the county went forward with the grant and also to take a leadership role in how that grant would be facilitated, i.e. the construction. So the best course of action was to amend the build, operate, transfer agreement that we had in place, that same agreement that talked about making these rail improvements to finalize connectivity between the Class 1 rail carriers, the CSX, and then CN. And Phil Facenda is here to talk a little bit about some of the details, and Phil and our attorney Guy had some discussions about the BOT agreement and how that would work with this project. And just to let the commissioners know, I spent quite a bit of time discussing the process of procurement used for this to make sure that we were in accordance with the Ready Grant requirements. That was confirmed by the members of the forum and their professional team. So we're in good standing with the funder. We're in good standing with grant compliance with the IEDC. And I think most importantly, we have operators within the facility that are going to continue to spend their own money. And I'll kind of address that after we go through the BOT agreement that has to do with the other end of the project. But I'm going to turn it over to Phil and Guy to go through some of the legal machinations of this so that the board members are aware. And I encourage you to ask questions about it. But generally speaking, we're the owners of those improvements in the park. The county is probably not well suited to be in the rail business. I certainly don't think the county should have liability for operations that go on in the rail park, and that's why we have a switcher. But I'll turn it over to Phil from Barnes and Thornburg to cover some of this.
Thanks, Matt. Commissioners, Mr. President, Phil Facenda from Barnes and Thornburg. So as Matt relayed, the BOT was executed in 2020. There was a statutory process, notice, respondents, and I believe JBC was the only respondent. And at the time when they were undertaking, the Redevelopment Commission was undertaking to get or apply for the Ready Grant, the question that the county had asked of us is, can this fall under the existing BOT or do we need to do another one? And we gave the opinion that we thought it clearly fell under this one because the project listed what would have gone over the ditch. So the bridge. So this was additional funding. So there is the amendment to the BOT is fairly straightforward. What it does is it basically, we had an IEDC grant for $1 million to do the original project. This adds to the definition of a grant, the Ready Grant, so that now the agreement, the BOT agreement, would read both grants, and that we're also intending to attach the agreement between for the Ready Grant. The Ready Grant agreement will be attached to this amendment, so that both this amendment, the Ready Grant agreement and the BOT will control how these funds are spent. And they got to be in accordance with both. And it's a fairly similar process where there's a claim form that's submitted to the IEDC, et cetera, so for purposes of recovering. And Matt, I can't recall, the initial $1 million grant has not yet been drawn, or it has?
Yeah, we're all done with that.
Oh, we're all finished, okay.
With that portion
Okay.
of the improvement.
Okay, so the original $1 million grant has been drawn. So this is the additional one. And there's a resolution that was that goes along with adopting the amendment. And if there are any other changes that need to be made before we actually enter into the amendment with JBC, the resolution authorizes the officers of the Redevelopment Commission to essentially make those changes. I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Do we need to do anything regarding the CSX switch with what's gonna happen over there? No.
Different.
All right, just wanna make sure.
Mike, generally my understanding for build operate transfers is that whoever undertakes it, in this case it would be JBC Rail, if there's, their proposal here would be all in. So they're proposing to build this bridge, the rail bridge, and do it for, I think it was the cap on that was about 561,000 if I remember correctly, roughly, give or take, maybe 10,000, pretty close. So, you know, if there's any unforeseen costs that go above and beyond that or whatever, JBC Rail would have to eat that, correct?
It's theirs, yes,
Yeah.
because that was the way the original BOT read too. It was, we're giving you this $1 million, and any cost for the project, the new rail project, is yours over and above the million. And it's, so that's, we're putting that right in with this grant as well. So any additional cost is theirs, not the
Okay.
county's.
We have any other questions? No, I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Are we doing, Mr. President, are we doing the resolution tonight?
Good.
We had a copy. I believe a copy was sent out to everybody. I believe.
Yeah.
Correct in the pack. Yeah. Yeah. So if it's the commission's pleasure to
Yeah, the copy.
entertain that now,
Motion to approve the resolution.
Second the motion.
all right. We have a motion, and a second to approve the BOT contract amendment resolution. That's the appropriate language, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any discussion? All right. Not hearing any discussion. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. All right, very good. Unanimous. All right. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, one more point with that. I will forward that on to JBC Rail. If there's any discussion on their end, I will immediately let the commission know. I'm not anticipating any points or deal points or changes, but I'll let you know if that happens to be the case. I would expect them to sign it and return it.
Very good. Thank you. If that's it for Kingsbury, we move on to 39. Oh,
Mr.
one more.
Chairman,
Oh, sure.
one more point on Kingsbury. As directed by the board, we had a document prepared that was a dual agreement or not a dual agreement, three-party agreement between JBC, Limburg, and the county to fund or do the CSX connection. Now, they own this connection. It's theirs. It's their purview to construct. And they have specific rules and requirements for union construction and how it has to be built. And they have to undertake it so the county would not have any part of it. I sent that to them. I don't have signed copies. I'm hesitant to go ask the council. Some of you are councilmen, so you would hear me request this, an upfront contribution of $550,000. My intention is to go to Monday's meeting and just update the council. And if I happen to have signatures from both entities, then I would request that at the following council meeting that it'd be appropriate. But the general summation is they have 3 years to pay us back. Pay the county back $550,000 if that hasn't happened through increase in rail fees as a result of the project, then they'll have to write us a check. And Commissioner Rosenbaum asked me who's responsible to make sure that they pay it back, and I politely said Mitch Bishop would be, and he agreed that Mitch would handle that heavy lifting. Well, more so the planning function, but I assume Mitch will be around to make sure that happens. So that's the only other update about Kingsbury that I have today.
Thank you. 39 North.
Mr. Chairman, I do not have an update on 39 North. I know that they're trying to procure grant funds. Where again, it's seems to be one of those situations where you have a creative differences between the municipality and the county entities. How's that? And it all has to do with infrastructure. So I think the appropriate position of the redevelopment commission should be to remain neutral And, you know, we wanted them to resolve this project. We know that a water tower is necessary to continue development out there. It makes everything out there more developable. It makes everything out there more attractive, and it also expands the opportunity for growth going north on 20 as you go, but we do need a water tower. So I'll keep the commission updated if I hear any breakthroughs that have occurred as a result of grants acquired or agreements between the city and 39 North Conservancy.
Thank you. All right, and last but not least here, the 3594 TIF.
3594 TIF, the group is continuing to identify, working with the partners, the preferred route to extend the utilities. We're hopeful to keep a friendly conversation going on with the city of Michigan City. Again, hopefully we can avoid creative differences related to where utilities go and how much they cost, specifically because the county has stepped up and said that, you know, part of your ARP funds would be spent on extending county utilities along with any tax increment finance for the project. And if I could, Mr. Chairman,
sure.
I'm going to loop back real quick related to 421 and 94. Mitch and I will continue to work with Michigan City Sanitary on some challenges they had related to federal regulations new to the system. This is an issue related to forever chemicals, and this is far beyond my area of expertise. Nonetheless, the districts, all of them in the country have to deal with this. And in particular, those that already have waste streams that come from landfills. Michigan City actually owns one and has another one that contributes. So there's a balance that they have to achieve. We had a very productive call with Waste Management and Michigan City Sanitary last month. And I think what we found is that the folks at Waste Management know a heck of a lot about this because they're dealing with this topic in, you know, all the states. So there was a lot of great information shared. Mitch and I are going to meet with that group again next week to expedite this. I think that, and if the commission isn't aware, part of our partnership to continue to do the utilities has to do with Waste Management and their contribution of $150,000. So we're still working through it. Now it's, again, I don't know if it'll be something in the order of a consent decree for sanitary districts or how they do it, but it's certainly not this group's concern other than the funding that has to happen. And of course, Michigan City is going to make sure that they do what they need to do to make sure everybody has safe drinking water, and Waste Management is going to make sure that they're doing everything they can do to make sure they're not polluting it. So that's all I have.
So I can add to that issue a little bit.
Yes.
I received a call today from Waste Management's council, and apparently the Michigan City Sanitary District was having a meeting today, and they were going to bring up this issue in an attempt to move it forward. Apparently there was a technical meeting between the engineers at Waste Management and the engineer for the Sanitary District, and so they're trying to find a path forward. See, there's no regulation now in the entire United States. If Michigan City wants to go ahead and do some type of regulation, they're going to be the leading of every municipality in the United States. Michigan, the state of Michigan has some guidelines, but the EPA can't do anything regarding guidelines until there are funding. You have to fund a study to come in and get all the results of the study, and then you have to go to the EPA. So this is really years down the road, but this is a holdup, and Michigan City does have some cold feet that we're going to have to help them get through if this is going to come to fruition.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. President,
Yes.
it's a question. Out at the Love's site,
Yes, sir.
is that the pipeline doing the work there? It looks like they've cleared a spot. I'm getting a nod from, looks like, I mean, somebody's out there with an excavator. I'm sure they're probably reinforcing the pipeline or something.
Pipeline is repairing and replacing a section.
Okay.
Full loads.
So at least they're getting their part done.
Oh yeah, 2 years have gone by, so statutorily they're required by the federal government. I'm glad to see they're on it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. President, if this is a good time,
Sure.
we can get a motion to take that oath off of the table, thanks to Ms. Facenda, and we can go ahead and administer the oath to the members of the commission.
Oh, that would be fantastic. If we have a motion to take that off the table. All right, and a second.
Second motion.
All right, motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. All right, back on.
Ready?
Yes.
I,
I,
your name,
Joseph Haney,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and I will faithfully and impartially discharge
my duties as a member
my duties as a member
of the LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission
of the LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and according to law,
according to law,
so help me God.
so help me God.
And we'll get these certificates out to you all. So,
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Much appreciated. All right, and I appreciate that. And then under new business, we have a consideration of the contract for Gaius DiMartino 2023 contract. I think everybody's had a chance to look at it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. All right, very good. Unanimous approval. Next, we would have other business. I don't believe do we have any other business before us this evening? I don't think so. All right, very good. Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. All right, thank you, everyone.